Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Canadian Mortgage Weekly. We have a super exciting episode for you all today. It's episode 42. My name is Sam Thompson, and as always, I am joined with Joe Bladdock. How you doing, Joe?
Hey, not too bad, Sam. Thanks for the introduction. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. We have a lot to cover in today's video. Last week was the big bad election, and we have the results for what we're going to be seeing moving forward, or at least what's proposed to happen moving forward.
Exactly, yes. And a lot of Canadians were really anticipating and anxious about this election, just to see what was going to happen. So it's good to have some results coming in. With the Liberals winning the minority election,
Mhm.
we wanted to just dive in to see what the housing plan was for the Liberals, so we can just recap that with you all today.
Yeah, I know that again, as you were saying, for a lot of voters this year, looking at the housing market, it wasn't necessarily. Oops,
Seems to have lost Sam there.
I'm back. Sorry about that. It seems to
Oh,
be on everybody's mind of how the housing market was going to be addressed. What new things would be implemented. So yeah, we would love to just cover off what we've seen so far from their platform that could make some big improvements and have a big impact on the market for Canadians.
yeah, definitely some big improvements. You're right, Sam. And I'm really looking forward to getting into this list here because, it's been really good to see that a platform has come into power into Canada that did have a housing plan of some kind, and to
Yeah.
see that they are interested in, having some initiative behind Canadians and their housing. Because as we know, this has been a big issue this year, and
Yeah.
everybody seems to be interested in housing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just jump into our first topic of coverage, where they had proposed a ban on foreign ownership for the next 2 years. So again, that's a huge implementation, that they're going to be banned for the next 2 years. So it'll be interesting to see what effect that has. We know that definitely foreign ownership drives specific markets, or is a big contributor to markets like Toronto. So we'll see what that effect that has for the average Joe Canadian buyer.
Yeah, definitely. And you're right, Sam. It's a big action there, and it's going to really affect things on the foreign ownership side. I know that a
Mhm.
few years ago they introduced the foreign buyers tax, so this is
Right.
just something else that adds to that arsenal.
Mhm.
And another thing that we wanted to cover off that the Liberal plan has for housing is banning blind bidding.
Mhm.
And Sam, you and I have seen that a lot this year with houses going for way above asking price.
Mhm.
And that just happens a lot with that blind bidding. So, just having that more regulated might be a good thing for the housing market, may slow down the unnecessary increases that we
Right.
see.
Mhm.
Well, it's going to be a good thing as well, I think, for the housing market going forward.
Yeah, and I think at least one thing it'll do, whether or not we see it make a huge effect in pricing, I think it will address maybe some concerns or hesitancy for new buyers where there's, to them it could seem like an arbitrary number being proposed because it's not what they're seeing on the list price. So I think this will help, sort of calm everybody out and put a bit of faith back in to your real estate buyer's agent. So again, like you're saying, we could see that houses are selling, a bit more closer to list price, or at least where you're at in
Yeah.
the list of offers that have been given so far.
Yeah, more of a transparent bidding process. And I think a lot of people
Mhm.
have wanted that for a number of years. And I remember I've been in the bidding process before. It's not fun, but it is exciting, but
Mhm.
it's also very emotional. And just to have more
Yeah.
transparency during that process, I'm sure everyone would love that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're a first-time buyer, there's an awesome one in here
Oh
that
yeah.
the Liberals have proposed to double the first-time buyer's tax credit to $10,000, whereas previously it was 5,000. So we don't know exactly so far when this is taking effect. But that is going to be awesome for any new first-time buyers. You get to claim that on the following year after your home purchase. So doubling that tax credit is really going to help, especially in families where we're seeing mortgages are being extended to the maximum ratio. So getting some money back the next year for it could be really helpful for a lot of young families.
You bet. Yes. I know that when young families will move into their first home, there's a lot of expenses that arise with all that excitement, including
Mhm.
things like maybe doing some renovations or even just putting up curtains that can be quite a bit of an expense. Or
Yeah,
maybe you just want to add a hot tub. That will definitely help pay for that.
that's right.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, for first-time home buyers, they have an initiative to introduce a new tax-free home savings account. So
Mhm.
this will be a interesting initiative. I don't know, Sam, we were chatting earlier about it being very similar to the RRSP plan in that it will be a deduction from the annual income, just like the RRSP, which is a good thing because that will help
Mhm.
Canadians keep more money in their pocket at the end of the year as they're contributing to this savings program.
Yeah, it seems to be a really unique and an interesting idea for any first-time buyers. And another benefit is that there's no requirement to pay it back. I know we have processed a lot of first-time buyers that are using that home buyers plan through the RRSP, but they do have to pay those funds back for the home buyer plan. So having a source of savings that first-time buyers can access to help them have that financing in place or a plan to build their down payment could be really beneficial for them for sure.
hmm That's a good point you make there, Sam, about not having to pay it back. I know that as we've done our educational seminars, we've seen a lot of times that that is a big roadblock that people don't want to enter into is the payback of an RSP. So to have that as an option, not to pay back your tax-free home savings account, big plus right there.
Mhm.
And and this account, I see we have notes here that it will be available to Canadians under 40 and with a maximum of up to $40,000 towards a first home. So that is actually a very generous amount as well. Uh,
Mhm.
Increased above the $35,000 RRSP withdrawal limit per person.
Yeah, it seems to be an interesting proposition. So, I mean,
Yeah.
when we have more details for that, we're definitely will, add it to the first time buyers webinar. We might do a bit of a segment on it, just chatting about, what that process looks like and how it can help you. If you're trying to get into the market, and again, the down payment does tend to be an issue for homeowners. The Liberals have also proposed to commit $1 billion in loans towards rent to own programs. I know that we've seen this play out in some scenarios. Some people are a bit more hesitant for rent to own, but by investing in some of these projects, it might raise the legitimacy of using a rent to own program and assist Canadians that don't have that down payment or can't get ahead of where they're financially at to help them get into the market.
That's a good point, Sam. Yes, to legitimize the rent to own programs. And that, I mean, these are programs that have been around for years, but they've been
Mhm.
done either privately or through corporations or investment corporations. So to actually have the Liberal government come in and support these projects on a government level is going to bring a lot of legitimacy. And like you're saying, help get people into homes faster and easier. There's also this home accelerator fund that the Liberals are announcing as well. And I know that housing supply has been a big issue in Canada, something that a lot of people have been asking the government to help increase supply. So I think this whole housing accelerator fund has the initiative and the
Mhm.
plan to help municipalities speed up the development of extra housing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it'll be good to see how these municipalities take this initiative and this home accelerator fund and introduce it into their own municipalities and how they promote housing. I know in Simcoe County, there's quite a few initiatives. They have the down payment assistance program. They also have the garden suite program, and some renovation program as well. So there are other initiatives that are available, which also you could, if any of you are interested, sign up for our first time buyer webinars to take a look at all those other initiatives. But this housing accelerator fund looks like a really good one, Sam.
Yeah, again, it could really help solve an issue that we have been hearing from realtors, that there's just lack of supply, lack of supply, lack of supply. So hopefully,
Yeah.
this will help to address that issue. But overall, it looks like there's, some items they're bringing to the table that, if we see them played out, it could have quite an effect on the market. We'll have to see, what the time frame is for a lot of these, new propositions or new accounts, so that, we can keep you all updated on how you can take part in some of these, savings accounts or, new rent to own programs. We'll see how these affect all of the, new first time buyers or even second time buyers as well.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that together for sure, and keep everyone posted here on Canadian Mortgage Weekly as the government announces these programs and puts them into motion. I know that we may see some programs announced soon. I know they were pretty animate about these housing policies. So really exciting to see such initiative. Whether or not it comes to fruition, well, that'll be another day.
That's right.
Yeah. But as for Canadian Mortgage Weekly, just wanted to introduce Sam Thompson today. Sam Thompson is a mortgage agent originally from Ottawa, Ontario, moved to Barrie about a year and 3/4 ago now. Married, living in Barrie. Sam, welcome to the show. Great always to have you on Canadian Mortgage Weekly. So it was a good episode today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Joe, and for the introduction. And for any of you watchers who don't know who Joe is, Joe, you're a mortgage broker living in Aurelia, but again, serving all of Ontario. You've been in the industry for over 10 years. So again, a lot of knowledge about, getting a mortgage, securing that financing and making it stress-free, or as stress-free as possible. So again, yeah, thanks for being on the show and giving us some insight in, what we could see this coming fall, later in the year with all of these new policies.
Yes. Thanks, Sam, for that wonderful introduction. And for all our viewers out there, thanks for watching Canadian Mortgage Weekly, episode 42. We're excited to have you join us on episode 43. If you like our show, hit the like button or subscribe to our channel, or leave a comment or send us a private message. We'd love to hear from you with any mortgage questions or anything that we can help solve for you today.